smoky cotton foreign tower, slice and burn, return. Listen to yourself churn. Locking in, uniform and book, burning blood, letting every motive escalate. Automotive incinerate, light a candle, light a motor, step down, watching heel crush, crush. Uh-oh, this means no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear. A tournament of lies. Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. The other night I drifted nice, continental drifted by mountain, sit in a line. Leonard Bernstein, Leonard Brezhnev, Lenny Bruce and Lester Banks, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, you symbiotic, patriotic, slam button neck, right? Right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel
Hello and welcome, Doomers. It is music for the end of the world here on 93.7 Edge FM. Every Wednesday, 7 to 8. Well, most Wednesdays anyway. And I am Chris, and I'm joined in the studio tonight by my lovely sidekick, Cass. Hey, Cass.
Evening, everyone.
Yes, it's been quite a warm week and meant to get warmer.
It has been. I think next week sounds particularly hot.
Yeah. I hope everyone's going okay. Lots of things have been happening. I'll do a little bit of an update. Of what's been happening in the collapse world. And I wanted to talk a little bit about JustCollapse, and also there was an interesting article, babe, about the global economy and insurance companies in particular, how climate change is shaping.
Yeah, absolutely. It's shifting the dial big time, isn't it?
Yes. So lots about calculating risk and making investors jump in and stuff. So we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. Music-wise, well, we've got quite an eclectic mix tonight.
Some maybe played for the first time by you.
Yes, maybe. We've got some Biba Doobie. Got a couple of Biba Doobie songs. If you
Definitely
haven't
a
heard
new
Biba Doobie, I think she's from the UK, maybe.
Yeah, I think the story is she's from the UK, maybe Philippine background.
Ah, okay. So maybe a bit of Biba Doobie. Hotel Ugly, Rainbow Kitten, maybe some John Mayer, Dominic Pike, and maybe a couple of international songs, babe. Spanish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Spanish
Esla
and a French one.
Bonamado or French by Indila.
I think absolutely.
Depends how much talking I do. I usually do too much talking and we don't get through it all. But we can always do it next week. So let's see what has been happening on the collapse front. A whole bunch of things. Let's see. Top financial watchdog. Financial watchdog warns climate change set to trigger market panics, and we're going to be talking about this in a little bit more detail later. It's from the Financial Stability Board, which said that the financial damage of climate shocks, such as all this weather we're having, floods, droughts, fires, storms, could cause a broader pullback in lending and downturn in investor confidence. There could also be an abrupt, broad-based repricing of climate physical risk, as the expectation of larger future losses are incorporated into current prices and impact sectors. So, interesting. Here's another study. This shows that hot leaves, these are leaves on the tree, like living leaves, not the ones that have fallen to the ground, can't catch carbon from the air because it's too hot.
Wow.
So that's bad news for rainforests and really for the whole planet. Rising temperatures will severely affect the ability of tropical forests to photosynthesize. This will hinder their capacity to absorb carbon dioxide, obviously, because that's what photosynthesis is. Who knew that heat affected the ability of plants to photosynthesize?
Yeah, I think we haven't had to look at those things before because we've just assumed it all happens as nature does, but nature's changing.
As is everything, Doomers, as we all know. China's Himalayan mega dam deepens India's water worries. Analysts warn that while the project may not provoke immediate conflict, it lays the groundwork for a contentious new chapter in a relationship already defined by mistrust and border clashes. Well, that's just more of the same battle over resources, isn't it? Water being probably our most valuable one.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we don't have that,
And you haven't
you don't have
mentioned
anything.
the big game changer and how that's going to shift the
Which
world
is?
space, which is Trump.
Ah,
And what he actually does in that sort of space, given the fact
Himalayan
that
man,
he's,
yeah. I know. I mean, Mr. Red Man, yeah. I know. He's
and-
rolled back a whole bunch of environmental
well,
decrees.
There's the Paris Agreement, but I mean, it rolls down to everything. It's the fact that he's looking at America's international aid and virtually saying if it doesn't do something good for America, in America's interest, then pull out any kind of funding. So you look at all those kinds of environmental things. You've got someone who doesn't believe in
That's right.
climate change, then
Business as usual at all costs. I mean, he's right when because he's going on about drill, baby, drill, right? He's saying, "Oh, look, America's got an energy emergency," right? That's what he's and it's true. Peak oil has come and gone. I mean, fossil fuels are on the decline now. We aren't discovering more fossil fuels. So
well, that's maybe why he wants to buy
he
Greenland.
is correct in that. Yeah, exactly. That's probably why he wants Greenland. Drill there. Just like the Russians are drilling in the Arctic. Yeah. What else have we got, though? Round up here of some more climate news. Sea surface temperatures of the subpolar region of the North Atlantic has been spiking. Well, most of the ocean temperatures have been spiking. Damaging mega droughts are spreading around the world. This is another study over the past 40 years. Mega droughts. I don't know what a mega drought is, babe, compared to a drought. Obviously, extremely
you
large.
used to think that a drought was the most extreme you could get.
Maybe
so
extremely large and
mega
extremely long.
extremity, maybe it's the length. Maybe it's a never-ending drought.
Mega droughts have hit every continent but Antarctica. That's because there is no water in Antarctica. Like, it's the driest continent on Earth. Except they have had rain there now, I think. It is changing. Mongolia, Southeast Australia, Western US were among the regions with the highest density of severe multi-year drought events. The longest drought in their research, though, was one in the Eastern Congo Basin. Who would have thought that in the middle of Africa? It's lasted a decade.
Wow.
Isn't that tropical, the Congo? I thought that was tropical.
I
That's
thought
where the
it was
gorillas
more-
are.
Yeah.
The mountain gorillas, yeah. So that's the damaging mega droughts they're spreading around the world. The Yala Glacier in the Himalayas is projected to vanish by sometime in the early 2040s. It's retreated by 680 metres and witnessed significant reduction in area. 36%'s gone between 1974 and 2021. So obviously more since then. And of course, these glaciers, these retreat of these glaciers threatens water security for millions, if not billions of people. Pakistan's agricultural sector is facing severe challenges due to water scarcity. And remember they had those floods in Pakistan,
Yeah,
was it a couple of years ago or something?
Extreme.
And now they're facing not being able to grow their crops. Yeah. Wow. That's because they rely a lot on glaciers. Here's one. Here's one from my mate Steve. 2 rallies in the Welsh motorsport calendar have been cancelled due to destruction left by Storm Dara. The storm caused significant damage to the Welsh Government woodland estate, which is managed by Natural Resources Wales. So they had to call off a couple of car races. Northern Ireland, storm damage risks the electric supply from power station to the Ballylumford power station. And Røros, which is the coldest place in southern Norway, not northern Norway, that's right up in the Arctic Circle, has in the last days experienced an unparalleled January heat wave. Friday was the second day in a row with plus 9 degrees Celsius. You got to remember this is
winter.
This is winter now over there, the middle of winter, and they've got 9 degrees. Oh wow! And the record was 8.2 degrees Celsius back in 2020, but that has been surpassed.
All of the temperature records all being broken.
Yep. And of its eight highest January temperatures, 3 were observed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week. Extraordinary heat in Northern Europe, actually, all over. 17th day of records broken in Europe in 17 days. It's never happened before in climatic history. Finland, also with a rare plus 9 degrees Celsius yesterday. That's weird, in the middle of winter. We've lived over in Sweden in a winter, and let me tell you, it doesn't get to 9 degrees.
No, and you don't
Not even in the middle of the day with the sun out.
9 degrees, yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is sometimes too also to put it in context of why you spend the time at the beginning of the program running through, various information and reports on climate change and temperatures, and that's mostly because of the fact that if you turned on your general radio program or your news station, that you're not hearing about any of these different things that are happening across the world. Like we don't have visibility. We're just reported on what's happening and it's explained away. But the sort of the ramifications and the worldwide implications of it, and the fact that you don't have visibility of hearing what's happening in the rest of the world, apart from if it's a major disaster.
Well, the mainstream media are useless.
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
just don't get it.
Planet warming gas levels rose more than ever in 2024. Well, we know that. I've spoken about that before. CO2, methane. 50% higher than before humans started burning fossil fuels. Nigeria's cocoa industry is in shambles as the farmers battle theft and violence. Because it's becoming so expensive, I suppose. And here's one. Climate change is fueling a new era of so-called unnatural disasters, from supercharged storms to cataclysmic flooding, that are triggering major shifts in the insurance market across the United States. And that is what we're going to be talking about in more detail, hopefully, later in the hour. There's a whole bunch of stuff. New South Wales government's declared natural disaster in 3 areas. Did you know that, babe?
No, where's that?
Because we had storms, we had heat waves, and now there's a possible cyclone
storms.
predicted. Where are they? Port Stephens, Maitland and the Snowy Valley. Well, we had that really heavy wind
Had
the
those
other day.
winds and all those trees coming down. I think there were thousands of SES calls. And that's the other thing too, isn't it, that what people don't, when you think about it, is that the more disasters, natural disasters that we have, and the intensity as the intensity increases, we don't have, we've got finite resources to deal with it and finite resources to respond to it.
Yeah. And each time it takes
you
longer to bounce back.
Keep rolling these things
That's
out
right.
constantly, and you start depleting your
And of
capacity.
course, the temperature's rising everywhere. Another record day in Mozambique, 40.5 degrees Celsius. New January record. Gulf of Guinea, 3 months with hundreds of records smashed every single day in every single country. Equatorial Guinea, hottest January night ever in their history. Central African Republic, a lot over in Africa. All these different temperature records. And of course, everything is connected. So here we've had the cocoa. Here's the Moroccan watermelon exports hit 8-year low due to the severe drought. In Tunisia, they had a 6-year drought. It cripples herb harvesters. Sicily's Aeolian Islands were cut off by bad weather on Friday. Schools were shut due to torrential rain, floods. And after intense flooding, apparently they had flooding over in Barcelona, it's still battling a drought. We are suffering this severe drought, and at the same time we are suffering some results of extreme precipitation, said Mark Proem, head of the climatology at the Meteorological Service of Catalonia. So not only are they having drought, they're having floods in a drought. And disaster-hardened Japan faces enormous costs from climate change. Year of failed crops. Yes, India, northern and central India. It's either drought or it's either floods. One of the two. So it's all happening, people, as we all know, don't we? Let's get into some music. I think I've got to do some Bieber Doobies. What shall we do? Let's have a couple of songs from Bieber Doobies. They're not too long. The Perfect Pair, I think. And The Perfect Pair and maybe Glue Song. Here is Bieber Doobie.
I'm the glue. Don't forget to kiss me, or else you'll have to miss me. I guess I'm stuck forever by the glue. Oh, and you.
Ah, the lovely Beaver Doobie. Excuse me, with The Perfect Pair and the Glue Song. Have you heard Beaver Doobie before, babe?
The first song I've heard before.
Oh, okay. Perfect Pair. All right. I haven't heard it before, I've got to say. Oh, very good. Well, after those lovely songs, I think it must be time for some messages from our lovely sponsors.
Need a broken window fixed, glass doors or shower screen? For all types of glass replacement or mirrors cut to size, call Bega Valley Glass on 0417 545 498. For prompt service, whether domestic or commercial, Bega Valley Glass are the experts. Remember, call Corgi on 0417 545 498 for all your glass requirements. Bega Valley Glass, sponsor 93.7 Edge FM.
Better Home Living Bega is the only place to shop for all your electrical appliances. With a huge showroom boasting a great range of white goods, televisions, small appliances, and a fantastic cooking showroom with all the big brands. Plus, they're also an Apple reseller and Weber barbecue specialist and a J-Car stockist. Call in and see the experienced staff or shop online at better.com.au. Better Home Living Bega, 95 Auckland Street, Bega. Proud sponsors of Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors, without whom we would not be here. So make sure you give them your patronage, listeners. If you're in the Bega Valley, that is. I know some people are streaming from far gone places. Now, before we get into the insurance news about the global economy from the World Financial Watchdog, I'd just like to again stress, and I talk about this quite a bit, the group JustCollapse, which are down in Tasmania. Just a little bit of from their website, is saying that JustCollapse, Talk Collapse, the campaign, was launched by JustCollapse in late 2021. And it builds on the work of pioneers who have been warning about collapse for decades and have been vilified and marginalised for speaking up. The momentum is now building. In recognition of our predicament, the Talk Collapse campaign asks those who understand the inevitability of collapse to communicate this knowledge as a matter of distributive justice, recognising that whilst collapse is already happening now, collapse is complex and is experienced diversely by different people in different places. And that's basically why I started doing the show, babe. is just to spread the word, because that's all we can do, really.
Yep, a platform to talk about it.
Talk about it, yeah. Because the mainstream media won't. They refuse to. So we do it here on community radio. It's all we can do. Everybody has the right to know, JustCollapse writes. As a first matter of justice, everybody has the right to know, and useful action for decentralised socio-ecological justice can be had when people are made cognizant of the nature of the predicament and not diverted by impossible fantasies of endless progress or fairy tale techno-fixes which serve only to dig our hole deeper. In this way, we build a collapse-conscious citizenry that is capable of planning and action in the face of inevitable collapse. That's what it's about, people. That's why we're always talking about building community relationships. Think local. And we do it because, well, JustCollapse do it, they say, because we act so that some measure of socio-ecological justice might prevail for as long as possible, in spite of the dire nature of our predicament, which of course is ecological overshoot, as I have said. Business as usual. Whether online or in the real world, a diversity of people are already experiencing collapse, whether they know it or not. And we should try to respect that diversity of experience in our communication rather than try to bully our message. The act of listening can sometimes achieve much more effect than a voluminous tirade. I try not to do any tirades on the show, babe. I do my best. That said, it is true enough to say that you'd expect your doctor to give it to you straight, and that's what I do. So in this regard, it may be helpful. Well, it is helpful telling me telling you all the different reasons and the things that are happening, the collapse news that's happening around the world, because you don't get it on mainstream media. Also, JustCollapse, I like what they say here, Cass. The decline of progress and civilization, with all its entailed multitude of socio-ecological horrors, is highly emotional terrain. Starting small and finding common ground is often a useful way to begin to talk to people. We only hope to do what we can. That's all we can do, babe, where we can. And we need to remember, and I've spoken about this before, we are riding the zeitgeist. And collapse is inevitably coming to us all. So there are whether people choose to take it in now or when it really hits home, there's no stopping it. And I don't know about you, Cass, but I've found that talking about collapse gets easier with practice. And I think, and JustCollapse right here too, that they say, oh, but you'd be surprised how many people already intuitively understand that the great descent, that's us going over the cliff, has already begun. I think a lot of people do. Most people aren't too stupid.
People know that things are not right. Things are not right. But it's easier to sort of pretend that it's all okay and this is just a little glitch in the...
They don't use the same, precisely the same language or ideas to describe what they intuitively know to be true, which is things are bad, it's only getting worse. But, people are different. We all try and have our own coping mechanisms.
People make their own journey and come to it, and I think it's just important for people to know that there are other people on that journey with them.
Well, that's the other main reason I started doing the show, Cass, is that, it's a terrible thing, collapse, this whole terrain of collapse, but there is perhaps little worse than being alone thinking about it. And so making connections with others who understand our predicament can help sustain and foster our capacity to talk about it and give us some sort of, well, I don't know, not hope or relief, but...
It's a common experience or a shared experience. I think that's the other thing that's just really interesting too, is you look at the different kinds of online groups and things that are people who are processing and perhaps understanding the sort of the situation and where it's heading. And people are not throwing their hands up and saying, this is it, my life is over, forget everything.
No.
People are incredibly open. People are trying to make sense of it, like reading the signals around the world and the different climatic.
I know. It's
changes.
just taking that last step, though. I mean, we can all recognise the terrible climactic events that are happening around the world. LA fires being one of them, all sorts of things. We can all recognise and think it's terrible and more are to come, but it's taking that last step to actually go, yes. So what does that mean? It means we can't change it. It means it will continue until it gets so bad there's nothing left. That's what I mean by the zeitgeist, because JustCollapse right here that the zeitgeist is basically the spirit of the times, really. It's like the public consciousness. So back in 2019, a zeitgeist coalesced around the urgent need for climate action. Now, I mean, all politicians talk about climate action, right? I remember not too long ago when it was hardly mentioned. And when you did mention it, they were laughed in Parliament, thanks to the opposition. But now climate change has become an acceptable, predominant point of conversation. Of course, due to many different factors, Greta Thunberg, for example, Extinction Rebellion, international conventions upon international conventions, science upon science. But in 2019, just about everyone started talking about climate. So unconsciously and subconsciously, the zeitgeist had taken shape through some sort of osmosis. But this zeitgeist now, babe, is what propels big business governments into climate action, with support from large sections of the climate environment movement. Techno fixes that boost GDP, remember, you've got to have growth, and aim to maintain business as usual are being rolled out under the guise of a renewables transition. So the spirit of our times, our zeitgeist, is a fraught fusion of progress and climate action. But it fails to recognise that one is the cause for the other. That's the last step I'm talking about, when you... To say that,
well, it is. It's the premise of overshoot the fact that we have finite resources on our planet, and we've exceeded those resources.
And we have infinite growth.
That's right, and we just cannot. Two are just completely opposing.
Doesn't make sense.
Opposing positions. We can't continue to grow and produce and buy and be materialistic and have all of these things when we just don't have the capacity anymore to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not without, just the increasing, and as you said, I suppose your other catchphrase within all of this is the exponential growth. And
yes.
The fact is that people say, well, that's okay, we'll just keep going, and then there'll be a point that we'll know, and you're going, no, because the effects of what we're doing now
exponential function.
Are exponential.
That's the real scary thing. That's right. And nobody does it better than Trumpy for misleading people, I've got to say. He's very good at... he sort of combines, like I was talking about, he's talking about America's energy emergency. And it is true, but he's not looking at it in the way it should be looked at. He thinks just drill more, build more.
No, that's
he
right.
doesn't get it, that's actually what's fueling...
I thought that was going to be your little
anyway.
segue into your next song.
Well, it is. Actually, it was going to be a segue to my next song, which, of course, is the Gimmies. Every week we always play the Gimmies. Usually only one. I'm only doing one this week, but I might play more next week. Nobody Does It Better by Me First and the Gimme Gimmies.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, you're the best. I wasn't looking
Yes. Gimme Gimmes. Nobody does it better. And they played that song at the gig we went to. Ah, fantastic. Really good. Look, I think we need one more song. Now, I'm not going to get through all those songs that I mentioned before, because I've still got to get through the insurance deal. So, let me see. What will we have? I think we need some something French. Here is Dernier Dance by Indila.
Something contemporary. French
Something contemporary,
French
something
contemporary.
French. That sounds like a good idea. Well, here is Indila. Indila. With Dernier Dance.
Oh ma douce souffrance, pourquoi s'acharner, tu recommences. Je ne suis qu'un être sans importance. Sans lui je suis un peu paro. Je déambule seul dans le métro. Une dernière danse pour oublier ma peine immense. Je veux m'enfuir, que tout recommence. Oh ma douce souffrance. Je remue le ciel, le jour, la nuit. Je danse avec le vent, la pluie. Un peu d'amour, un brin de miel. Et je danse, 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 danse. Et dans le bruit, je cours et j'ai peur. Est-ce mon tour, revient la douleur. Dans tout Paris, je m'abandonne et je m'envole, vol, 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 vol. Que d'espérance sur ce chemin, ton absence. J'ai beau trimer, sans toi ma vie n'est qu'un décor qui brille vide de sens. Je remue le ciel, le jour, la nuit. Je danse avec le vent, la pluie. Un peu d'amour, un brin de miel. Et je danse, 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 danse. Et dans le bruit, je cours et j'ai peur. Est-ce mon tour, revient la douleur. Dans tout Paris, je m'abandonne et je m'envole, vol, 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 vol. Dans cette douce souffrance dont j'ai payé toutes les offenses. Écoute comme mon cœur est immense. Je suis un enfant du monde. Je remue le ciel, le jour, la nuit. Je danse avec le vent, la pluie. Un peu d'amour, un brin de miel. Et je danse, 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 danse. Et dans le bruit, je cours et j'ai peur. Est-ce mon tour, revient la douleur. Dans tout Paris, je m'abandonne et je m'envole, vol, 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 vol.
Ah, Indila with Derriere Dance. I got to say, babe, I got no idea what they're talking about. It sounds so nice. It's a winner for me. She could be talking about hanging out the washing. It doesn't matter. It sounds really good. Yeah, very nice. Okay, I think it could be quick time for another message from our sponsors, IBS Bigger.
Bega Independent Batteries are a proudly Australian company and not only supply all types of batteries, but quality off-grid kits, solar pumps and more to the southeast coast of New South Wales and northern Victoria. They supply all types of batteries and associated products, everything from marine, aeroplane and automobile through to trucks, RVs, caravans, golf carts and smaller consumable batteries. Their aim is to provide quality products at the best possible prices. Give them a ring on 0436 460 460 or check out the website at www.ibsbega.com.au. Bega Independent Batteries sponsor 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you, IBS Bigger. Another one of our lovely sponsors. Okay. Geez, we're running out of time. I did say I was going to talk about the market and insurance. And this article comes from the Financial Times, which, as you know, Cass, is an extremely hotbed of leftist radicals, the Financial Times. And the headline is, Top Financial Watchdog warns climate change set to trigger market panics. And the financial watchdog, of course, is the world's financial stability watchdog, has warned that disasters caused by climate change are increasingly likely to trigger broader panics in the financial markets. They go on to say that the world breached 1.5 degrees, yes, above pre-industrial levels for the first time last year. Yes, we know that. Raising the prospect of more environmental disasters. Duh, yes, we know that too. The Financial Stability Board, this is the watchdog organisation, said that the financial damage of climate shocks, such as floods, droughts, fires, storms, could cause a broader pullback in lending and a downturn in investor confidence. Oh, not feeling so good. Banks, here's a quote, banks could reduce lending, including for recovery to already vulnerable households and corporates, the body said, which brings together the world's central bankers, ministers and regulators. There could also be an abrupt, broad-based repricing of climate physical risks as the expectation of larger future losses are incorporated into current prices and impact sectors and jurisdictions not currently directly affected by disasters. So everyone will be affected. This report comes amid broader concerns about the capacity of the insurance sector to cover losses associated with climate change following the devastating fires in LA that are estimated to have caused tens of billions of dollars worth of damages. I think I read somewhere, it was 30-something. The California crisis has put the spotlight on how some major companies have been pulling out of the state, leaving California, leaving about 10% of residences without home insurance, and many others reliant on a non-profit insurer of last resort. I think that's been happening in Australia too. There's different areas. I know friends in Lismore. If you have a house in a certain area of Lismore, you can't get insurance for it.
Yeah,
For
so
floods.
I
No
think-
company will give you that.
Yeah, I think you've got the fact of you either can't get insurance, but the other problem is that the premiums become so high that the average person can't afford to spend thousands of dollars on an insurance, and then not even knowing what the fine print is and whether or not you're going to be covered, and all of that then passes down the line. So businesses mean that if they're paying higher premiums, they're passing it on to the consumers. Yes. If people can't afford to pay the insurance premiums, then when they are hit by a disaster, then you've got an even greater cost to society.
Well, that's right, because of course, when the insurance companies pay out a lot more than they normally do, because there are more climate-induced catastrophes, that increases the what do you call it? Premium? Is that what you do?
Premiums. Yeah.
Premiums.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Even if you're living in a very safe place from drought or floods or whatever it is.
But I think what that's saying too, though, is the fact that financially everything is connected globally. Like things that
Yes.
happen financially in one place, and so when you start seeing that happening in that space, the insurers and those big companies that start shifting their position on it, that absolutely affects all of us.
Yep, and they go on to say that leading reinsurance groups are also paring back their exposure to natural catastrophe risks, while the US lender Wells Fargo believes that insurance payouts for the California fires could reach $30 billion. The FSB, the watchdog, said that its research also found climate change was making insurance less available and more expensive, while also risking higher property losses and wider market stress. There are indications that insurance premiums have been rising in certain vulnerable areas to reflect expected or realised increases in physical risks, with some insurers withdrawing from markets that are deemed too risky, they say. Now, without specifically mentioning these LA fires, the FSB warned that this kind of disaster could lead to higher losses for banks and other firms, triggering broader stresses in the financial markets by pushing up government borrowing costs, causing cross-border spillovers, because everything's connected, people. Pointing out that 62% of the global losses from natural disasters were uninsured in 2023, 62%. The FSB warned risks that are opaque and not well managed could create correlated shocks whose impact is magnified as they propagate down through the system. Some US lawmakers, meanwhile, have warned that the fires, which have destroyed more than, 12,000 structures. I haven't been keeping up to date with the LA fires, but I didn't realise it was that much, and killed at least 25 people, could cause a permanent increase in insurance costs and require more state support to fill gaps in the coverage. The California fires may be the trigger for an accelerated collapse in insurance markets, said Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who was until recently chair of the Senate Budget Committee over in the US. The industry is looking at entirely new and unpredictable risk profile for homeowners insurance, driven by climate factors that are worsening. Now, this isn't a fiscal blip of some kind that you recover from, he added. That's right, people. It's only getting worse. Regulators around the world are worried about falling levels of insurance cover for natural catastrophes. Yes.
I mean, I think those kinds of things are really difficult because you can look at how do you respond to all of these changes and climate change and those things, and you can talk about being sustainable and your community networks and all those different things, and ultimately your community is the one thing that saves you in any kind of difficult or disaster kind of situation. But it's problematic because what happens when people can't afford to cover have their insurance covered, and you lose everything, and you're trying to be sustainable, but then you just become you're even more adrift and deeper.
And what you notice though, like these people, they talk about it. This watchdog. Here you got Sarah Breeden, who's the deputy governor for financial stability at the Bank of England, who chaired the FSB group that produced this new report and framework, said that it provides a forward-looking approach to be able to capture the unique aspects of climate risks while staying rooted in traditional financial stability analysis.
That just means
BAE.
hoik the cost up.
BAU, sorry.
So that it becomes absolutely
business as usual.
Not affordable for everyone.
This is the last step they just refuse to take because it threatens their very existence, because they have to admit that our neoliberal capitalist system is not the answer. It's not providing the relief. We need a different system. That's why I think, anyway, my personal views, that's why they can't come around to it, because it means admitting that their whole life has been predicated on a false assumption.
But even if you look at it, though, the thing which I don't know that I don't understand or struggle with then in that space is absolutely, the insurance companies are going on business as usual.
Yeah.
But if they did take that next step, then what does that mean? That means really do away with insurance and stop, because there's no way you can possibly mitigate or provide coverage against what's...
That's right. You can't insure the world, man. as a friend of mine said.
That
Nelly.
sounds like the name, the name of a song.
It should be the name of a song. You can't insure the world. Yeah, what a great name of the song. Nellie Liang, Undersecretary for Domestic Finance at the US Treasury Department, who also worked on the report. Like they had, big name people working on this report, called it a welcome addition to financial market surveillance. Translating that, BAU, people, business as usual. That is where, that's the basic thing. Oh, here we go. And they got catastrophes cost the world last year. How much do you reckon, roughly?
Oh, well, what did you say for LA in the billions?
30. Well, they reckon about 30. But LA was this year.
I know.
But
So
last year.
For last year, for all.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Along the world. And you got to remember, a lot of them were in developing countries, third world countries, where people don't have insurance, where the insurance companies are not paying out a lot. So, we're mainly talking about the first world. 320 billion.
Wow.
That's how much has been paid out or is going to be paid out. And I just like this quote. Lloyd's Bank, there's a very extremely conservative, well-known, big financial institution. John Neal from Lloyd's Bank says, and this is a quote, "You'll never find an insurer saying, 'I don't believe in climate change.'" If only Donald Trump ran an insurance company,
Well,
everyone would be able to get it. Yes. The EU regulator urges action on climate threat to insurance. Yes.
I just think that it's going to get to a point that people will not be able to afford to, or the average person will not be able to afford to have insurance.
And that has repercussions on, because everything's connected. So the financial markets are all connected. So insurance has a spill-on effect towards the stock market and blah, blah, blah. I don't understand it all. I'm not a financial person. I hate it. But I do know that it's all connected and that one thing here affects something over there. Just like the world. Just like with ecological overshoot, people. As I keep harping on about it, Doomers. All right. Well, you've been listening to Chris and Cass on 93.7 Edge FM. Music for the end of the world. And if you live in the Bega Valley and you would like to come on the show and talk to us a little bit about your experiences with Collapse, or maybe not Collapse, just email the station. Go to the website. They've got all the details there. I'm happy to have guests on. I'm hoping to have some Tristan and Kate from JustCollapse on in the coming 3-4 weeks, which will be great. But yeah, if you'd like to, just email the station. Because we're going to have to leave you now with one song. Any last words, babe, that you would like to say before we go off air?
No, not tonight. Just, again, the same thing that I think you keep saying all the time is it's about community. It's about enjoying life, looking at what's important to you and being a good person and recalibrating
your what's the word I'm looking for? Priorities. Thank you, babe. That's the exact word I'm looking for. Recalibrating, getting your priorities right, people. And it ain't going out to work more. Let me tell you that. Yes. I dare say, well, probably family and friends would figure pretty high in that.
I think so.
For most people.
I think so. Don't put off.
No.
Tomorrow or for the next 5 or 10 years what you should be doing now.
That's right. So thanks for tuning in, peeps. And as I always say, from my friends in JustCollapse, collapse is inevitable, but justice is not. And that's what we've got to keep trying to work towards and talking about it. So we will see you next week, same time, same place. And the song we're going to go out with tonight, babe, I don't know about you, but I feel like another international song.
I hope it's the Spanish one.
And some, well, oh, babe, you ruined it. I was going to say, and it's from a place very close to France. Just across the Pyrenees. Yes, a Spanish dude. Eslabon Amado and Piso Pluma. No idea who they are. But this is a great song called Ella Bella Sola. So until then, we will see you next week, people. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Compa, ¿qué le parece esa morra? La que anda bailando sola, me gusta pa' mí.
Bella, ella sabe que está buena, que todos andan mirándola como baila.
Me acerco y le tiro todo un verbo. Tomamos tragos sin pero, solo tentación.
Le dije, voy a conquistar tu familia, que en unos días vas a ser mía.
Me dijo que estoy muy loco, pero le gusta que ningún vato como yo actúa. Y este va, mija, y por la doble P, viejo.
Así nomás con papel y puro eslabón armado. A las plebitas. No soy un vato que tiene varo, pero hablando del corazón te cumplo todo.
Me agarro pegadito de su mano, mi compa ni se la creyó, que al pasar fue yo.
Su cuerpo, juro por Dios que era tan perfecta, su cinturita como modelo.
Sus ojos desde el principio me enamoraron, a ella le gusto y a mí me gusta.